who destroyed my flower fields. Imprison them!
Think you saw everything in the Super Mario Bros. Movie? You're wrong. Unless you paused at the exact second, you definitely didn't catch these hidden secrets Nintendo tried to keep in the dark. Number 1. The first meeting between Yoshi and Toad looks innocent on the surface. It feels cute, awkward, even funny. But there's actually a layer of jealousy hidden underneath that most people completely overlooked. Throughout the scene, Toad acts strangely uncomfortable around Yoshi. He's more defensive, almost insecure.
So some cool dinosaur just shows up and he's now part of the group.
And honestly, it makes perfect sense. For years, Toad has always been the small, lovable companion standing beside Mario. He was the cute sidekick everyone recognized instantly. Then suddenly, Yoshi arrives, a character who is arguably even more iconic, even more marketable, and honestly, even cuter to general audiences. But the movie doesn't just imply that Yoshi is replacing Toad, it literally shows it happening. During the interaction, Yoshi steals Toad's candy, and that detail works on 2 levels at the exact same time. On the surface, it's just a small comedic moment, but symbolically, it represents Yoshi stealing the spotlight from Toad himself. One of the most talked about mistakes in the movie happens during the scene where Bowser flexes in front of the Queen Bee. If you look closely, the metal band around his arm visibly snaps apart when he shows off his muscles. Then later in the scene, it suddenly appears perfectly normal again. Most people immediately assumed this was just a continuity error the animators forgot to fix. But if you slow the scene down carefully enough, something extremely easy to miss actually happens. Bowser quietly puts the metal piece back onto his arm himself. The moment where Mario and Luigi ride through the desert feels like a simple transition scene, but if you actually pay attention to the details, the movie is very clearly recreating the atmosphere of classic Wild West films. The biggest clue is what Mario and Luigi are wearing. Both of them have ponchos draped over their shoulders exactly like old Western gunfighters. And then comes the detail almost nobody noticed. Right before they enter the cave, both brothers slowly reach toward their fire flowers in the exact same way cowboys reach for their revolvers before a duel. But here is what makes the detail even more interesting. The producers were reportedly not allowed to use actual guns in the movie, so the fire flowers became a replacement for weapons instead. When Princess Peach and Toad arrive at the information desk, they encounter ROB, the small robot assistant that longtime Nintendo fans instantly recognized. But what most viewers completely overlooked is what happens during the interaction itself. ROB suddenly begins glitching and malfunctioning while speaking. At first, it feels like a random joke added for comedy, but the scene is actually referencing something very real about Nintendo history. ROB was originally created as an accessory for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and in real life, the device became infamous for constantly breaking down. Many players complained that it malfunctioned all the time, which means the movie is secretly turning one of Nintendo's biggest hardware frustrations into a hidden joke for longtime fans. But then, the filmmakers pushed the joke even further. If you look closely at ROB's coffee mug, it contains an oil warning symbol exactly like the warning lights that appear in cars when something is broken or failing mechanically. And honestly, it might be one of the smartest background gags in the entire film. In the casino sequence, Princess Peach briefly encounters a strange pink creature that looks very similar to Yoshi. Most viewers probably ignored the moment completely because the cameo happened so quickly. But longtime Nintendo fans immediately recognized who it was. That character is Berto, one of the strangest and most fascinating characters in Mario history. Berto first appeared all the way back in Super Mario Bros. 2, where she was originally presented as an enemy capable of shooting eggs directly from her nose, which already sounds bizarre enough. But what made Berto truly controversial was not the design. It was the character's lore. According to early Nintendo manuals and descriptions, Berto was canonically described as a character who believed she was female and preferred to be called Berdetta, which effectively made Berto one of the very first transgender characters in video game history, long before conversations like that were even common in gaming. There is a quick scene in the movie where a monkey suddenly steals Toad's backpack and runs off with it. For most viewers, it just feels like a random comedic moment added for chaos. But Nintendo fans instantly recognized who the monkey actually was. That character is Ukiki, and he has been annoying players in Mario games for years. His most famous appearance comes from Super Mario 64, where he steals Mario's hat and forces players to chase him down across the map to get it back. And if you played that game as a kid, you probably remember how frustrating he was because Ukiki is incredibly fast, slippery, and difficult to catch, which is exactly how the movie portrays him too. Some viewers were surprised when Fox McCloud was portrayed as a bounty hunter who mainly works for money. At first glance, it almost feels strange because people usually remember Fox McCloud as a heroic Nintendo protagonist. But the truth is, the movie was actually being incredibly accurate to the games. Fox has always been a mercenary. In the Star Fox series, Fox and his team literally run a professional service where they take missions in exchange for payment, and the clearest example comes directly from Star Fox 64. At the end of the game, Fox hands General Pepper a bill for their work, and what makes this detail even funnier is that the amount of money on the bill actually changes depending on how well you played during the game. The higher your score, the more expensive Fox's services become. There is a moment in the movie where Yoshi tries to scare away a dinosaur by roaring at it. At first, it just looks like a funny little animation detail, but if you watch closely, something very specific happens right afterward. Yoshi starts hopping around rapidly while kicking his legs in the air, and to casual viewers, that movement probably means nothing. But longtime Nintendo fans immediately recognized what the movie was referencing. That hopping motion is directly inspired by the way Yoshi moves in the video games whenever he performs his famous flutter jump. In games like Yoshi's Island, Yoshi can extend his jumps by rapidly kicking his legs in the air, allowing himself to float for a few extra seconds instead of falling immediately. It became one of the most recognizable abilities tied to the character. During the chaos of the final fight, Luigi quickly sketches a strange little figure that suddenly comes to life. Most people probably laughed at the scene and moved on immediately. But what almost nobody realized is that the figure Luigi creates is actually Mr. Game & Watch, one of the most important characters in Nintendo history. And the reason this cameo matters so much is because Mr. Game & Watch existed long before Mario himself. In fact, he was one of the earliest major Nintendo characters ever created. He originally appeared on Nintendo's old Game & Watch devices years before the company became famous for consoles like the NES or the Switch. Princess Roselina's return in the movie already felt emotional for longtime Mario fans. But there is one detail connected to her design that almost nobody noticed the first time watching. Earlier in the film, Roselina's right eye is visible, completely uncovered. But after she separates from Princess Peach, that same eye becomes hidden once again. And at first glance, it feels like a simple visual choice, just part of her normal appearance. But when you think about what the movie tells us regarding Peach and Roselina's connection, the symbolism becomes incredibly clear. Throughout the story, the film heavily implies that the two become stronger together. Their connection is presented almost like two halves completing each other. So when Roselina's eye becomes covered after they separate, the detail starts feeling symbolic rather than cosmetic, almost like the movie is visually showing that something is now missing from her, one half separated from the other.